49,769. That's the number of Canadians who left the country in 2022. According to Statistics Canada, the number of people leaving the country has been increasing steadily since 2012. In 2021 alone, an estimated 40,000 Canadians left the country, and this trend shows no sign of slowing down. Canada is known for its beautiful landscapes, diverse culture, and high standard of living. It's a country that has welcomed people from all over the world, offering them opportunities to build a new life and thrive. However, in recent years there has been a growing trend of people leaving Canada. So what's behind this trend? Here are some of the untold truths about why people are leaving Canada. The current population of Canada is 38,637,542. Canada is often at the top of the list of one of the best countries to live in. However, it is one of the most expensive countries in the world, with high taxes, expensive real estate, and rising prices for everyday goods and services. Reason number 1: cost of living. The high cost of living is one of the primary reasons people are leaving Canada. According to Numbeo, a global cost of living database, Canada ranks as the 11th most expensive country in the world. From housing to healthcare to groceries, Canadians are facing rising costs across the board. For many Canadians, it's becoming too expensive to live comfortably in their home country. Housing prices in particular have been a major issue in recent years. In cities like Toronto and Vancouver, housing prices have skyrocketed, making it difficult for young people and families to buy their own homes. According to a report by RBC Economics, housing affordability has reached its lowest point in over 30 years, with home ownership becoming increasingly out of reach for many Canadians. Renting is becoming more expensive, with the average rent in Toronto and Vancouver now exceeding $2,000 per month. For many Canadians, it's becoming too expensive to live comfortably in their home country. Housing prices in particular have been a major issue in recent years. The average price of a home in Toronto, for example, is now over $1 million, while in Vancouver, it's over $1.5 million. These high housing costs are leading many Canadians to consider leaving the country in search of more affordable housing options. Some are moving to smaller towns and cities within Canada, while others are leaving the country altogether. Aside from housing, Canadians are facing rising costs in other areas, such as the high cost of mobile communications and the internet. In addition, the cost of food and groceries is also on the rise, with prices increasing due to factors like climate change, supply chain disruptions, and the COVID-19 pandemic. These high costs are putting a strain on Canadians' finances, making it difficult to save for the future or invest in their careers. Reason 2: job opportunity. As you may know, many immigrants with degrees from their home countries face several challenges when trying to find jobs in Canada. One of the biggest obstacles is the lack of Canadian work experience. Employers in Canada often prefer candidates who have prior Canadian work experience, which puts immigrants without this experience at a disadvantage. Another challenge that many immigrants face is the language barrier. If your first language is not English or French, communicating with Canadian employers can be more challenging, and it may be difficult to express yourself in the way you would like to. This can put you at a disadvantage when competing for jobs. A third challenge that many immigrants face is credential recognition. Some employers in Canada may not recognize degrees or qualifications earned outside of Canada, leading to underemployment or unemployment for immigrants with these credentials. Networking is also crucial in finding employment in Canada, but immigrants may not have an established network in their field, which makes it harder for them to learn about job opportunities and connect with potential employers. Despite Canada's strong economy and low unemployment rate, there are still many Canadians who are struggling to find work in their chosen field. In particular, many young professionals are struggling to find meaningful employment in their fields. According to a report by the Royal Bank of Canada, around 30% of Canadian graduates are either underemployed or unemployed 6 months after graduating. This lack of job opportunities is leading many Canadians to consider leaving the country in search of better opportunities. Some are moving to the United States or Europe, where there may be more opportunities in their fields. Reason 3: weather. The harsh Canadian winter. Canada is no stranger to cold weather. In fact, in some parts of the country, winter can last for up to 6 months. This can be challenging for people who aren't used to such extreme weather conditions. The cold temperatures, snow, and ice can make it difficult to get around and can even pose a risk to people's health. In addition to the physical challenges posed by the Canadian winter, there's also the impact on mental health to consider. Seasonal affective disorder, SAD, is a type of depression that is related to changes in the seasons. It's more common in northern latitudes where winters are long and dark. The lack of sunlight and the feeling of being trapped indoors can take a toll on people's mental well-being. Alternatives to the Canadian winter, given these challenges, it's no surprise that some people are choosing to leave Canada in search of milder climates. Popular destinations include the southern United States, Mexico, and even Europe. By moving to a warmer climate, people can enjoy a more comfortable lifestyle and potentially improve their mental and physical health. Reason 4. Healthcare. While Canada's healthcare system is often touted as one of the best in the world, it's not without its challenges. Long wait times for certain procedures, limited access to specialists, and inadequate mental health resources can be frustrating for some people. Additionally, the cost of prescription drugs can be high, particularly for those without private insurance. These issues can prompt some people to seek healthcare options elsewhere, or even leave Canada entirely. For those facing serious health issues, long wait times for procedures can be a significant barrier to receiving timely and effective treatment. In some cases, people may choose to seek healthcare options in other countries where wait times are shorter. Additionally, the limited access to specialists can be frustrating for those with complex health issues that require specialized care. Mental health resources can also be inadequate, with long wait times to see a psychiatrist or access to counseling services. This can be particularly challenging for those dealing with mental health issues who require immediate support. The cost of prescription drugs can also be high, particularly for those without private insurance. In some cases, people may be forced to choose between paying for expensive medications or foregoing treatment altogether. This can be a significant financial burden for individuals and families and even impact their quality of life. Reason 5. The education system. Canada's education system is often praised for its quality, accessibility, and diversity. However, there are several challenges that can prompt some people to leave Canada in search of better educational opportunities. One of the main challenges is the high cost of tuition fees for international students. Many universities and colleges in Canada charge significantly higher tuition fees for international students compared to domestic students, making it difficult for international students to afford an education in Canada. This can prompt some international students to look for education opportunities in other countries with more affordable tuition fees. Another challenge is the limited availability of scholarships and funding opportunities for international students. Without adequate financial support, many international students may struggle to afford the cost of living in Canada while studying. In addition, the limited availability of graduate-level programs and research opportunities in certain fields can be a barrier for those looking to further their education in Canada. This can prompt students to look for opportunities in other countries with more comprehensive and diverse graduate programs. Furthermore, the language barrier can be a challenge for some international students, particularly those whose first language is not English or French. Reason 6. For many people, family and social connections are important factors when considering where to live. While Canada is a welcoming and diverse country, there are several challenges that can prompt some people to leave in search of better family and social connections. One of the main challenges is the difficulty of maintaining strong connections with family and friends who may live in different countries or time zones. For some, the distance and time difference can make it challenging to stay in touch and maintain meaningful relationships. This can be particularly difficult for those who have close family members who require care or support. Another challenge is the limited availability of social networks and support systems for newcomers and immigrants. While Canada is known for its multiculturalism and inclusivity, it can still be difficult for newcomers to establish a sense of community and belonging. This can be especially true for those who don't speak English or French fluently, or who come from cultures that are vastly different from Canadian culture. In addition, the high cost of living in major cities like Toronto and Vancouver can be a barrier for some families, particularly those with young children. The cost of housing, childcare, and other necessities can be prohibitively expensive, making it difficult for families to make ends meet and maintain a good quality of life. Family and social connections are important factors for many people when deciding where to live. Reason 7. Canada is known for its stability and welcoming nature, but the country's political climate can also play a role in prompting some people to leave. There are several challenges related to Canada's political climate that can make people consider leaving. One of the main challenges is the lack of representation and inclusion in the political system. Some people feel that their voices are not being heard, or that their communities are not adequately represented in the political system. This can lead to feelings of frustration and disillusionment with the political process. Another challenge is the polarization and divisiveness of political discourse in Canada. Like many other countries, Canada has experienced a rise in political polarization in recent years. This can make it difficult for people to have productive conversations and find common ground, leading to a sense of disconnection and disillusionment. Reason 8. Traveling within Canada can be expensive, particularly when compared to some other countries. There are several factors that contribute to the high prices of Canadian travel. One of the main factors is the vast size of Canada. With a land area of almost 10 million square kilometers, Canada is the second largest country in the world. This means that traveling from one part of the country to another can involve long distances and high transportation costs. Another factor that contributes to high travel prices in Canada is the relative lack of competition in the transportation industry. In some cases, there may only be a few companies providing transportation services to a particular destination, which can limit consumer choice and keep prices high. Additionally, there are various taxes and fees that can add to the cost of travel in Canada. For example, there is a federal excise tax on air travel, as well as various provincial and municipal taxes on hotel stays and rental cars.